like that?
No.
No.
To the point.
No. You asked me if I'm thinking of it. It's like it's not even somewhere in my mind anymore. No, not at all.
Yeah, I guess that would be something maybe a couple years down the road as you're doing blend after blend and you have something.
Perhaps, that's what I don't want to do. Just to be clear, it's like we never got into this to create CAO 2.0. Further from it, the further I can get away from CAO, the better. And that's not to say I have sour grapes about anything. CAO is very near and dear to my heart because they're John O. Osgener's initials, and John O. is a man that I hold dear. I owe him so much, and his family in general. But that is done. It's over. It's gone. It's a whole different animal now in Richmond. I can't tell you what's going to happen to the brand from here on out. But I don't want to do anything close to CAO ever. And the intention with Crowned Heads is not to come out with a new release every year or have to come out with a new release every year. I want to develop brands that slowly grow over the test of time. If we do 500,000 cigars the first year, fine. 50,000, fine. Whatever. But I don't want to have to be under the gun to come up with a new brand or a new thing every year or every 6 months, or the winter blend, summer blend, harvest blend, limited edition, this series, that series. I don't want to do that. So I'll let everybody else kind of take the lead on that.
That's good. I actually like that.
I'm glad you.
Go ahead, John. Coffee break.
Coffee, yes.
You mentioned Pete. You mentioned Dion earlier.
Yes.
Who else are you smoking? Whose other cigars are you enjoying these days? Besides, obviously, Pete and Dion, we know.
Pete and Dion, I'm big fans of both of them. In terms of other cigars that I'm smoking, I've been smoking a lot of Padron product because I think they're like, we're all here and Padron's here. They're like on their own island somewhere. And I've been smoking a lot of Padron. I've been trying to do, different. Hang on, I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right.
I've been trying to do different, comparisons with different things. I've been smoking stuff from Ernie, EPC, smoking his stuff. There's a store here called Uptown Smoke Shop, which is, I think, one of the best retail tobacco stores in the country. And I go in there every 2 weeks, and I'll talk to their manager, Scott, and I'll say, is there anything I should be smoking? And he'll give me all kinds of stuff, and stuff that I've never even heard of that he tries to turn me on to. And, it varies. It's all across the board.
Is that
but
still
it
exciting?
seems to me that the most consistent that I go back to are Pete and Dion stuff. I think those are the most interesting things that are out there right now.
Is it still exciting for you to try all the different cigars that are out there?
Absolutely. I tell people that I started off as like a cigar geek, pardon the phrase, and I still am. I mean, when I started smoking cigars, I took like a little notebook, and I would like take the band off, and I'd glue it in the notebook, and I'd write my notes and my ratings and all that. And one of the worst cigars I smoked was the CAO Black. I gave it like a 79 and said it was acrid and sour, and then like 6 months later, I ended up working for CAO. And then obviously we turned the corner and made better products. But yeah, and to this day, I still get excited about, I came back from my honeymoon and, I was looking forward to like catching up on the industry news and going on to the different sites and forums and Twitter to see what's going on and what everybody's doing. Yeah, I still get absolutely like stoked about stuff. I really do. I'm still a geek.
How about let me ask you this. There's a big craze. There's a big debate always going back and forth about big ring gauge cigars. I know you tweeted this before, and is the craze still there? And what's your favorite Vitola? What's your favorite?
5 5/8 by 46.
Okay.
Hands down.
Mike and I are big ring gauge guys. I like 56 and up.
And that's fine. I mean, at CAO, we were under the gun to create a lot of that because that's what our consumers wanted. It's not what I like to smoke on a daily basis. It's not what I enjoy. And that's fine. That's okay. But for me, 5 5/8 by 46 is just the classic size. It's the perfect intermediate size that I enjoy smoking. I think Pete's, was it his 7th? Is it his 7th? The number 7. I think that's a 5 5/8 by 46. The old punch size, all that. That's my favorite size, hands down, bar none.
So can we expect the first Crown Head smoke to be that size?
the first brand will definitely I have the sizes already. I just don't have the manufacturer and the blend. But in my head, I have the names and the sizes of what ultimately I want to do. Whether the blend that we select works with those sizes, we'll see when we get to that point. But my wish list, I have 5 sizes in mind.
Okay.
And 5 and 5/8 by 46 is one of them. 6 by 60 is not.
How about a 56?
No, the closest I have in there is like a Sublime size, like 654, I think, 6.5, 54, something close to that.
That's good.
That's about as big as I'm going to go.
Okay.
That's about like a Toro. Yeah.
And that'll work.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else in the chat room have any questions for John? I don't know. Do you have anything else there, Mike?
Let's see. We covered all that. Favorite size you just covered. Actually, do you have a favorite tobacco?
Right now, I mean, for the last year or so, I've really been a big fan of Habano Ecuador. And that's the wrapper we ultimately used on La Traviata, 2 years ago, and ever since then, I've really been attracted to that tobacco. When it's processed correctly, it has a nice flavor, it has a nice sheen, it has a right color. I don't like tobaccos. Well, we're talking about wrappers, but that are too dark. I'm really turned off by really super dark cigars, and I know that there's a conception of dark, it's strong, it's da 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 da, and I mean, if you look at like a traditional Maduro, which is a color description, not a wrapper, by the way, it like a Cuban Maduro doesn't look like Oscuro, it doesn't look like an Onyx. To me, any cigar that it has that black thing, it just screams fake, to be honest with you. I think for my money, if we're going off on a tangent here, but if we're talking cigars, for my money, the best Maduro out there is Pete's La Riqueza. And if you look at a box of La Riqueza, it has like a darker brown, but a brown kind of chestnut kind of color to it. It doesn't have a dark black wrapper to it. And it's got incredible flavor, complexity, and it develops. That's what a cigar should do. And for me, I never want to come out with something that's so dark that it doesn't look right to me. So I'm not a fan of dark wrapped cigars. I don't know. Does anybody remember Onyx?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. Remember we got a 94 rating or something?
It got a high rating. I don't know exactly what the number was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's
Tom? Go ahead, Mike.
Tom from Tom's Cigars asked, what do you think about all the cigar review blogs out there? Basically, they're ran by regular consumers like he is, and do you pay any attention to them, or do you kind of let the bloggers and everything do their own thing?
To answer your question, I love them. I think for me, on the manufacturing side of the game, one of the most enjoyable advents in the business in the last 5 years has been the comeuppance, if you will, of the social media / blogger / what you guys are doing. Yes, absolutely. I think it's a great thing. Makes it enjoyable. It's injected a whole different feel to the industry. Before, like when I started in '96, it was like there was Cigar Aficionado, and that was it. That's how you got your message out. People still wrote press releases and all that kind of thing, and and that was it. That was your one avenue of communication to the consumer. Now we have consumers that are actually communicating directly with us, and I absolutely love it. I mean, to me, I learn more from reading Charlie Minato's news, than I will reading, some of the more popular magazines, and it's great. I absolutely love it. I really do. I mean. And I do pay attention to them, and I look at them every day. One of the first things I do, I come in the morning and I look at Stogie Review, I look at Stogie Guys, I look at probably about 8 to 10 different sites, and I'll look at Charlie's site for the news when I'm expecting the news. And, I'll be honest with you, here's a funny story. Yesterday I was speaking to somebody that I will not name who works for a very high-profile magazine that was not aware that there was a lawsuit between El Rey de los Habanos and my father. And I learned about it when I came back from our honeymoon by reading Charlie Minato's Cigar Feed coverage on it. So, I mean, that to me is case in point where, like, I think it's fantastic. I love it. And it makes it fun for us.
Yeah, I think Charlie does. He's definitely one of the top guys getting the news out there. I agree with you on that. He seems to always have the take before anybody else.
But I also think, you know, having consumers review cigars, to me, it adds a whole different level of credibility to it, because obviously you guys aren't getting paid to review cigars. You're just like one of us. You know, you're like, this is what I like about this cigar, this is what I don't like about this cigar. And the perception is that some of the magazines, you know, there's some advertising dollars involved, which, by the way, I can honestly attest to you as somebody that's seen the process firsthand. Cigar Aficionado does not do ratings based on ad dollars. I've seen the process. I've been in their office when they have the white bands on there with little numbers. It's legit. That's all I can tell you. You know, but I think the public perception is different. But I can tell you from behind the scenes that it's a very legitimate process of what those boys do up there.
To go with that question now, do you prefer now, like us over at Stogie Review, we don't give any number rating to a cigar?
Numbers.
Would you rather prefer a number with a rating, or do you just like to hear what people have to say about it?
No, I mean, I think everybody should have their own. I think everybody should have their own unique style of how they rate and you know, evaluate the products. Numbers are nice. It kind of gives you, you know, whether it's numbers or stars or what have you, it gives you a sort of a baseline. But it's also nice to hear somebody's opinion of what a cigar tastes like. One of the things I have problems with, to be honest with you, as somebody that smoked cigars for 17, 18 years, is the flavor descriptions. Whether it is an online guy or Cigar Aficionado, I mean, I think my palate is pretty well developed after, you know, close to